Hello, hello! Welcome to the second part of the Q&A. So, before we begin, I have to say a few things. Okay, so first of all, the first part of the Q&A is already available, but I think YouTube didn't notify people correctly, so if you didn't see it yet, go check it out right now. Okay, second thing, I know I promised I would upload this part a week after the other, but I got a little bit distracted because other things happened. Like, for example, I got a new roommate that, well, she's sleeping right now, so I can't make her come and say hello, but yeah. And yeah, she can defend herself right now, I will blame it on her. Just kidding, but I'm sorry about taking so long. And third, yes, I know this video is long as hell, but I couldn't split it up. I had to put it all in the same video. So I'm sorry if it's too long and boring for you. The next ones will be under 10 minutes, because I know that 20 minutes is a little bit too much. Anyways, without further ado, let's continue where we left. A deleted user says, how aggressively can you dab? Unity asks, can you do the default dance on VR? Well, of course I can. Let me put this on for a second. There you go. Binik says, yo, do you have Roblox so we could meet in Roblox High School RP? Come on, it's gonna be fun. Now that you mention it, I actually never played Roblox. I actually was going to try it out, but I got really mad because someone stole my username. Yeah, thanks for nothing, you little shit. DJ Hyperdeath asks, how aggressively can you do the Orange Justice? Cal asks, how do you feel about this image? Intimidated. Speed asks once more, if you had to choose a dream job and you could live on that job for the rest of your life, what would it be? Well, I'm really happy to say that I already have that dream job. I work as a programmer, something I love to do. It might be hard sometimes, but I still enjoy what I do, so I'm really glad I got a job like this one. Raviolino asks again, oh Demi, are you the gayest of the land? Well, of course I am. Oh, but Demi, how are you gay if you have a girlfriend? I'm bisexual, it's a joke. Cal asks, question. Oh god, oh fuck, oh Jesus. Cal asks, can you tell us the Ramon lore? Are you talking about my human friend Ramon? I'm not really sure what you mean by that, but he's a pretty mysterious guy, so there's not much I could tell you about him anyways. He's shown me a lot of amazing places lately, like this one, so you can thank him for that. Erebus asks, can you not answer this question? I could not answer it, but I chose not to, by answering it, if that makes any sense at all. Sink asks, have you ever tried drugs, smoking, or anything along the lines? Nope, I didn't. I'm just not really fond of the idea of being under the influence of any kind of drug. That's just not for me. So unless you count just trying alcohol to see how it tastes, then the answer is no. Charlotte asked about that one theme I said I would update, but I never did. Alright, so the theme in question is the one playing in the background right now. I uploaded it to my SoundCloud and then I said I would update it at some point because I didn't like it enough. And then 7 months passed. I actually did update it, I'm just not 100% happy with it yet, so I didn't upload it to SoundCloud. However, I will let you listen to it in the background for a while, so here you go. Max Hyper asks, top or bottom? Skidly Doodler asks, you have mere seconds to live, how do you react? Well, I just leave this video playing while I wait for my death.
Welp, 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 welp,
you know, now that I think about it, this video is so pure that it would give me immortality instead. The speed asks, how do you cease existing in 0.261984618 seconds? Precisely, no later. Well, you just... Why no underscore 616 asks, in a post-apocalyptic world, would you try to survive or just expect that your death will be fast and painless? Well, I would fight till the end, of course. Creepabot asks how I'm feeling today. Well, I'm a little bit tired, but I'm pretty okay, so thanks for asking. Creepabot also asks, why does Demi not exist? Because it's absolutely necessary. Well, it seems like this question encourages an interesting conversation. Amazing. Alright, so that seems to be the last question. Well, that was longer than what I expected, but it was kinda fun. I guess I will see you in the next video. Goodbye! Hey, wait a second, we're not done yet. But we can't continue like that, because it's time to break the fourth wall. Are you ready? You might have noticed, but I'm trying to make these videos in character now. What does that mean, you ask? Well, it's simple, I don't do them as myself, but rather as Demi. Demi and I are basically the same thing, but his world and current situation are pretty different than mine. I gave some hints about this, for example, when I explained what is considered a furry in his world, but I won't explain it all just yet. I guess you will have to figure out from what Demi says. I had to break the fourth wall for a simple reason. There are some questions that I can't really answer while being in character. For example, the ones asking me about my 3D model or how I made this video. So let's go and answer them now. I will start answering this question from That Will Kettle once more, as Demi's answer was different than mine. Where does your channel name come from? Well, my previous answer was due to Demi's second name being Ramon. The actual story about this name is more complex than that. I think I was 9 years old when it all started. I was at school and our teacher left for some reason I can't remember. A couple of friends and I started to draw random crap on the blackboard. We ended up creating this weird looking character, and then we named it Demirramon, mixing the word Demi and Ramon. The first one means half in Japanese if I recall correctly, and Ramon was just our tutor's name. The extra R is because of Catalan grammar. It needs 2 R's to keep the pronunciation of Ramon, or else it would be Demirramon instead of Demirramon. I was only starting to use the internet, and all I did was play a game called Habbo Hotel. I used my real name as my username, but I did some dumb shit and I got banned. My second account used Demirramon as its username, and I just kinda kept doing the same for over 13 years. Okay, so let's continue. Mad Dog, Yunti, and Sink ask about that one Christmas special I never finished, the Christmas Turnabout. Don't worry, I have not abandoned it, I promise. Way too much work went into it just to forget about it. It's practically done at this point. Only a quarter of the first part needs to be animated, and that will be it. The problem is that, as you all know, a lot of things happened and I got a bit distracted. But don't worry, I promise I will finish it. Don't expect an argumental masterpiece, but I think you will like it. Raviolino asks a few questions. How long have you and Milk been together? Well, it's been 5 years so far. How's that rhythm reanimate thing going? Oh yeah, most of you don't know about that, but there's this one project called Rhythm Heaven Reanimate, which aims to get animators to animate different games of Rhythm Heaven to recreate the game's remixes in a bunch of different animation styles. It's a pretty nice idea in my opinion, so I got in. I'm still working on my little part, but it's going well. Bored Debbie Fortnite. Yes, I have no imagination and I don't know what to ask. I'm sorry, oh god, oh Jesus, oh fuck, oh Jesus. And then Raviolino died under mysterious conditions. Delta Sans asks, ¿Talk Spanish? Pues claro que hablo español, pues es mi segunda lengua materna. When are you going to show your face? Honestly, I have no plans for it, because I don't feel really comfortable doing so at the moment. I had a couple of videos where I played Slender with a friend of mine, and you could see our faces while playing, but I decided to hide them for various reasons. Well, here's a few questions about my 3D model, the one you're seeing right now. The Red Paw Cat asks how long it took. Well, this is a hard question. I remember counting all the footage I recorded while doing it, and it was a lot of hours. I think it took around 2 weeks to get the first version of the model done, but then I kept working on it to improve parts of it and add things like blend shapes and new clothes. Blend shapes are what I use to make facial expressions, for example. Chander Arctic F asks how I made it. It was made in Blender. In fact, you can see all the process sped up in this one playlist. I had to increase the speed of the footage a lot because it was several hours long. And now, Maxi Jelly asks the question I just replied to, but also asks if I have another OC or Fursona. Demi is my only Fursona and I don't plan on making more. However, I do have many OCs, and you can see them in some of my videos. You have already seen 2 of my human OCs, Ramon and Mike Fenris. And you will see more furry OCs of mine soon too. Now, back to the 3D model stuff. Sans King asks why I don't try drawing and animating instead of making a 3D model. Well, the answer is easy. I really tried, but it's impossible to keep an updated design for Demi on my videos anymore. Every time I have a few animations done to use in a video, my style just changes again. I'm proud of my skills, but I still have a long way to go, so I keep changing my way to do things all the time, and I can't force myself to be consistent or else I will never improve. I will still make animations though, I have a lot of plans. Making a 3D model takes way more time than a couple of drawings, that's true. But when it comes to use it, it's actually way easier. 3D animation is still a complicated thing, don't get me wrong, but it's extremely easy to update a model's textures or make small changes in it and you won't have to start the animation over, the changes will just apply themselves. But I don't even have to animate to make videos like this one, so it makes everything extremely easy for me. Confused? I will explain later. Arriba asks, if someday you decided to open 3D model commissions, how much would you think it would cost? Well, the thing is, I'm really bad at pricing things. If I give them a fair price, I end up thinking I'm making them too expensive, and then I underprice them. So I have absolutely no idea of what will be a fair price for my skill level. However, I can't open commissions right now. My full-time job won't let me. I'm busy enough with making videos and, well, enjoying my free time. Okay, here's an interesting question that a lot of you ask. Jude Leonard asks, how did you film this video? Well, this magic has been possible thanks to Oculus Rift. They are not sponsoring me, but this thing is too damn amazing not to talk about it. What you're watching right now is not an animation, you're looking at me in virtual reality. Let me show you my point of view. Okay, so recording in first person in VR is a little weird, so sorry about the abrupt movements of the camera and the weird angles. But, well, this is how it is. I just use this camera right here to record myself like you have seen until now. Hello, hello. And yeah, right now I'm in a game called VR Chat. Most of you know what it is, but it's a social VR game I like to play a lot. Let me go back to the streaming camera. Whoop, there we go. So yeah, I'm using it to record videos because it's really fun and easy to do. And I think they look pretty cool, don't they? I mean, at least it's more interesting than just recording myself on camera, right? As for the second question, how did you get into 3D modeling? The culprit is VR Chat itself. I've been playing this game for a long while. The idea of making your own 3D model and uploading it to use as your avatar seemed amazing to me, so... well, I just learned how to use Blender and I did. X Super Piplup 99X and Fight the Scuyo ask what I used to animate. Well, if you mean 3D animation, I just revealed the secret. If you actually meant what I used to do to the animations, I use Flash and sometimes Paint Tools I. Epic Ender Gaming Steven asks about my facial expressions. Yep, you're right, I'm using a VRChat feature to do that. When you upload an avatar to VRChat, you get to replace all of its animations, including hand gestures. As you can see, I can do a few gestures with my hand, and some of them trigger facial expressions. And this gun. Pew pew pew. So yeah, that's the secret behind it. I just replaced the hand gestures to change my face as well. And about my eyes, well, I tried to make eye tracking work, but I never succeeded. I don't know why, but I keep trying. For those who don't know, eye tracking is basically something that makes your eyes move automatically. For example, if there's someone close to you, the eyes will look at them. I think it's pretty cool. I really hope I can get it to work someday. Now let's see a few questions related to the furry fandom, which I happen to be a part of, just in case you didn't notice. Puro the Black Goo asks, how did you discover the furry fandom? Ember the Fox and Leon asked the same question. Okay, so this question is a little hard to answer because I don't really remember at which point I discovered furries existed. But when I actually got into the fandom, it was like 5 years ago when I met Milk. At that moment she was a furry, but I wasn't yet. She used to draw me as a cat, sometimes, or a mouse, or a lot of things, before I had a fursona. And I don't know, I kinda liked it, and I slowly got in, and here I am. He also asks, do you want a fursuit? Well, I honestly love fursuits. I think they are adorable, but they are so expensive, and I don't have many uses for them, so if I ever get one, it will not be anytime soon. And the last question, what is your project in the future in YouTube? If you don't mind, I will answer this one later. CubeTube asks, how did you come up with your fursona? It seems really interesting. Well, first of all, thank you. The first concept ever made of Demi was made with the help of Milk, who made me make a fursona in the first place. We picked a species together, which ended up being a wolf-fox hybrid, and then we used one of those free line arts on DeviantArt. After that I just started throwing random colors into it. The first attempt was absolutely eye-bleeding. It was all dark red with some yellow details. Then I changed it to something really similar to the cat she used to draw me as, but as the wolf-fox hybrid. This drawing is pretty bad, but it was my first one. Then someday I just wanted to add blue to Demi's design for some reason, I don't know, I just liked the idea, I guess. Well, I told her and she just said, why don't you make it all blue? And I did, just like that. There have been more changes to the design over time, like going from feral to anthro and then changing small details like the hairstyle, adding the bandages, etc. But changing his color was the biggest change I ever made to him. Life and Sick asks, why are you a furry? Well, the definition kinda gives it away. I just really like anthropomorphic animals and I enjoy creating stuff around this kind of character, that's all. I don't know, they look pretty cool to me. Jeepers Duty asks, how did your school react when I knew you were a furry? Oh my god, you make me feel so young. Back then I was 16. At that time I was close to finishing the ESO, which stands for Secondary Obligatory Education, or basically high school. Only my best friend knew about it. I wasn't really open about that yet. Then I started to study IT after finishing my obligatory studies, and then I didn't make a big deal of it. A lot of people knew about my YouTube channel and the stuff I made, and it had furry stuff sometimes, but no one really pointed it out. The furry content in the things I make keeps growing over time, and at this point most of my teammates at my work know about it, even if they don't really know what a furry is. So yeah, they don't even question it at all. I think it's a good thing to treat it as something that's not a big deal, because if you make it seem weird, people will take advantage of it and, you know. Another question I want to answer properly is Carl's question about Ramon. Ramon is complicated to explain. He's a human who has a bunch of futuristic devices, like one of them lets him open portals to other dimensions. His origin is unknown, but he travels between dimensions and stays on the ones he finds interesting. He seems to like the one where Demi lives, so... As humans also exist in Demi's dimension, he just keeps his regular appearance and fits perfectly. Onkar asks, what's your favorite thing about being a furry? Well, I guess I could say the nice people I met in this community. I have a bunch of furry friends who are really nice people and it feels good to be around them. If you find the right people, because of course there's going to be bad people everywhere and this is not an exception, the fandom can be a really nice, welcoming and accepting community. Well, I think this is it for real now. I got so many questions and I wanted to give good answers, so this was harder than I thought at first. But it was also really fun, so hey, what if we do another one at some point? I'm not sure when I will make another one, but if you have more questions, just comment them with the hashtag AskDemirramon. Why use a hashtag? Well, because it will be way easier for me to find them. So yeah, I think I will get going now. I hope you enjoyed this video, even if it's really long. I don't know how long it will be, but it will be pretty hard to get under 20 minutes at this point. But yeah, be sure to tell me if you like it or not, because it's my first time doing this and I want to know what you think, as I said like 7 times in my previous video. So well, at least I had a lot of fun, so thank you all so much for participating in this. And anyways, I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!